Hello, I'm LaToya and welcome to my show. Today we'll be cooking. I will be preparing two delicious nutritional meals with, guess what? Eggplant. Yes, that's right. I know a lot of you have not prepared eggplant, but it's delicious. And the meals that I will be preparing is eggplant parmesan, and also I will be doing a stir fry with eggplant, celery, and onions. Now, what's great about eggplant is it's an excellent food if you're trying to do calorie restriction. 1 cup of eggplant is only 20 calories. So that's excellent. It has high fiber, and also it has a lot of magnesium and also potassium. And it has a high vitamin C. Actually, a cup of eggplant is equal to a cup of orange juice. So get prepared, and these are quick and easy recipes that you can do. And let's get to cooking. Okay, now as I stated before, this is going to be a healthy eggplant parmesan. We're going to cut down on the fat, but we're going to increase on the flavor. And this is one magnificent meal. Now let's get started. What you will need is get yourself a nice healthy eggplant. You would need some spaghetti sauce, some cheese, and this here, some all-bran cereal. Now, this here is packed with nutrition. It has tons of fiber, and also it gives an excellent texture to it. Now, just follow me. I know a lot of people, you're probably saying putting cereal, but I guarantee you'll never know that it's there. So we're going to start by first, I'm going to peel my eggplant. Now, eggplant is very healthy and nutritious, and what's so great about it, it replaces meat. It has a meaty texture to it. And I love to use it in different recipes. Okay, now that that's all peeled, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the container and I'm going to spray it so it won't stick to the pan. And then I'm going to slice up my eggplant. And what's important is try to slice each slice the exactly the same size. That way that it can be sure and cook at the same temperature. And we're going to layer this down just like you would do a lasagna. We're going to layer with the eggplant. And eggplant is very healthy and nutritional. And a lot of these meals that I make, I really try to cut down on all the fat intake. I'm using a natural cheese, but if you like to, you can use a fat-free cheese. Or you can use, if you're vegan, you can use a vegetable-based cheese. And I'm going to cut these sides here so they can fit on the sides. And then my next layer, I'm going to layer it with my all-bran. And I'm just going to sprinkle the top of it. Make a nice little layer. Now once this cooks up, it's going to be nice and soft. I know it sounds nice and crispy now. Okay, now I'm going to put a little seasoning on my all-bran. I have some garlic powder. Also, I'm going to use some onion powder and some Italian seasoning. Now I use the powders because I don't have to worry about the high sodium intake. If you use salt, then you have to worry about that. But I'm going to use garlic powder and onion powder. And the two of those combinations, that just gives us flavor without any sodium. And that's what we want. We want tons of flavor. And I layer the flavor. And I have here a little Italian seasoning. And my secret ingredient is ranch dressing. This here is what brings out the flavor on everything. And you just buy any type of ranch dressing in a package and you just sprinkle it on each layer. Now this puts the pop in it. This really, it's just a light flavor. And the next thing we'll do is we'll use our spaghetti sauce. And use whatever kind that you really like. And we're just going to layer the spaghetti sauce on. Get a nice generous portion of spaghetti sauce. That was a bit much. And then the next layer will be our cheese. And a generous portion of cheese. And this is what really brings it home. It's going to be so delicious. And as I said, with all of these different flavors, all they will taste is how delicious it is. No one will believe how healthy and nutritional it is. And then we're ready to start our layers over again. Another layer of eggplant. And if you want to, you can make this a vegetarian meal. All you would have to do is use some vegan cheese. And by us using the fiber, it's very hearty. So this will fill you up and it will stick to your ribs. You won't be hungry after you eat this. You can go almost an entire afternoon. So I'm just layering it. And some of these I made kind of thin, so I'm going to double layer them. Okay, so we're going to get back to layering it. And again, it's our fiber, the all-bran cereal, one layer. Give a generous portion. Next, we want to season it. I got a little onion powder, a little garlic powder, a little Italian seasoning, and our secret weapon, the ranch dressing. And then we put our spaghetti sauce. And you can use any kind of spaghetti sauce that you like. You could even do homemade if you wanted to. But I just like the jar because it's like 1, 2, 3 and it's done. And next is a layer of cheese. Now you can use a generous portion of cheese because that's what you want it to blend all together is cheese. fact, I'm just going to dump the rest of this, and then I'll open up another package here. And you can use any kind of cheese you like. Now, I have a mixture here that has American, has mozzarella, and it has cheddar. But you can use whatever kind that you like of cheese, whatever is your favorite flavor. Okay. And then we're going to see if we have one more layer here, a thin layer. Be careful when you get to the end. We don't need any fingers popping. And then it's going to layer. Here. Okay. I think I'm going to change this. I'm going to layer one because it's not enough to really to go around for two of them. So I'm just going to build one more layer on this one, and I'm going to leave this one the way it is, just on 2 layers, since we ran out of eggplant. Okay. This one's kind of thick, so I'm going to thin it out here. So we're going to do the same thing for the top layer on this one. One layer, the generous helping of all bran, which is going to give us the fiber. Next, we're going to give a little seasoning, a little garlic powder, a little onion powder, a little Italian seasoning, and the specialty, some ranch dressing. And then we're going to put our spaghetti sauce, and I'm going to finish this off, put it all on here, because it's going to blend all the way in while it's baking, all the way down to the bottom, each layer. Going to blend it in just a tinge. And then I'm going to finish it up with my cheese. And boy, this is going to be one delicious meal. And it really is a complete meal. We have our protein, which is our cheese. We have our carbohydrate. And we have fiber. So we have it all together. And that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this in foil, and we're going to bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes in a 400-degree oven, and then we're going to see how delicious it is. Okay, so I'm going to cover with foil. I'm going to set my oven. It's preheated to 350, and we're going to cook it for 35 to 40 minutes. Now while that's cooking, we're going to start our second recipe. And what I'm going to do is we're going to use a stir fry. And I'm going to use eggplant, I have an onion, and I have celery here. Now again, we will have to peel our eggplant. And this particular recipe will only take about 10 minutes. On all of these recipes, the most challenging thing is to peel your eggplant. Now if you have a good peeler, you can use a vegetable peeler. With me, I prefer to use a knife because it's a little faster. I really don't have the patience for that. But just peel all of it off. And some people like to use the peel. I don't particularly care for it because it's a little tart. So I'm going to peel it. I was surprised when I found out that eggplant has such a high fiber. And you know, nowadays, fiber is good. Anything that has a lot of fiber, you want to make sure that you have a lot of it during your day, because it keeps everything nice and clean. All your pipes clean, as they put it. So we're going to saute this up. This right here will really taste like an Asian recipe once we're finished with it. And you can try these at home. Okay. Now this right here, it's a little brown, so don't feel bad. Just cut it until it goes away. Okay. Now with this particular eggplant, I'm going to cut it a little differently than I did the other one. I'm going to kind of cube it. And try to cut all the pieces the exact same size. That way they'll cook all together. Because if you have some pieces smaller and some pieces are larger, that's when some of them will cook faster. And we're going to saute up everything. But we're going to put the eggplant in last, because it doesn't take nothing but a second for it to be done. Okay. Okay, some of these are a little darker, so I'm just going to toss those. I'm going to get a dish to put this in, just to hold it, because as I said, I'm going to throw that in last. And I'm going to cut my celery next. And I'm going to throw that in, because the celery is really the ones that'll take the longest. And I'm going to cube up some of this celery. Now while this, before I start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up my pot. Did you need me to use this burner or this burner? Okay, now while I'm chopping up my celery, I'm going to get my oil nice and hot. Now use a good grade of olive oil. Use a good grade of olive oil. I use the extra virgin. And just coat the bottom of your pan. And I have this on medium to high heat, because you know with stir fry, it's a quick, fast 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to chop up my celery while that's. And with the celery, I like it because it's going to give a nice crunch to it. And I love that. So we're going to dice this up right fast. And I have already pre-washed and pre-cut my celery. Now, a lot of times you may want to do this. When you get home from the grocer, let me take this off, it's getting a little hot. When you get home from the grocer, you can just cut up your vegetables and pre-wash them and put them inside Ziploc containers. That way when you get ready to use them, you can just pull them straight out. And I do that a lot. Okay, so we're going to chop this up right fast. This is a quick nutritional meal. And also celery is also high in fiber. With the three of these, all three of these combined, a cup of it is less than 100 calories. That's nice and hot. So I throw this into my good hot oil. And next, stir that around in there. Whoa! You keep the oil nice and hot. You see in those Chinese restaurants how fast they have everything? Now I have a good white onion here, and I'm going to use about half of this. Always keep onion and garlic. Those are excellent flavor. Okay. And I'm going to let these saute around a little bit more before I throw the onions in there, because onions, they don't take long to cook either. But the next thing, I'm going to layer the dish with flavor. I have my celery. And the heat's on medium to high. Next, I'm going to throw my onions in. And I know you may say these are some large pieces, but when they wilter down, they'll be nice and sweet. And sauteing is very healthy because you keep all the nutritional values in the food, because you're only cooking them for a moment. And this is something, ladies, if you come home from work and you're tired during the evening, you just chop up these vegetables, throw them in the pan, saute them around, and you can have you a great healthy meal in less than about 10 minutes. Now you can notice my onions, they're turning translucent. And as they're doing that, then I know that they're getting done. And with me, I like the crunch. So I'm not going to let them wilter all the way down. Okay? And next I'm putting in my finish is my eggplant. Now I'm going to flavor my food. What I have here, I have some garlic powder. And again, I always use powders instead of salt. It keeps it low in sodium and it's full of flavor. I have onion powder. Now you say, well, you already have onion there, but the powder just intensifies the flavor. I'm going to stir all of those around. I'm going to throw in some pepper. If you have fresh ground pepper, that's excellent. And that just gives it a kick. Now, if you all want something that's low in sodium altogether, if you're watching your sodium, skip this step. But I like seasoning salt. And I just put a dash in it because to me, it just intensifies the flavor. But if you're watching now for sodium, you can skip this. And that's it, believe it or not. The meal is done. I'm going to saute this around just a little bit more because I want the eggplant to become a little softer. And I wish you were here to smell the aroma. Now invest in a really good wok, because with this, if your food ever becomes hot in the middle, you just move it to the side and it cools it off. And that's the reason why you continue to swish it around. And it heats the food evenly all the way around. But if you don't have a wok, you can just use a normal frying pan or a skillet. Now this is what brings in the Asian flavor. I use amino acids. Now you can use soy sauce because this tastes exactly like soy sauce. But what amino acid is, our body's composed of it about, I think it's about 28 or 27 complete amino acids. Briggs amino acids have a complete of 23 of these nutritional values. So not only do you get the flavor like soy sauce, but you get the nutritional value that would actually help the body. And anything that I prepare, I always try to make it nutritional. Because why waste time in the kitchen if you're not cooking for health? So I'm going to squirt just a little bit. Not much, just a tinge. Saute it around. The flavors are coming all together. I'm going to turn my heat down. I'm going to get me a plate. and take it off the heat immediately. Because as I said, I do not want it to overcook. And look at that. Absolutely delicious. In no time at all, we have a healthy plate of nutritional eggplant that's packed with fiber. It's packed with fiber. It's packed with potassium. It's packed with vitamin C, and it's absolutely delicious. Now let's check on our eggplant parmesan. It should be about ready now. Ooh. Okay, let's see. Oh wow, these are two delicious meals that we have. Eggplant parmesan and stir-fried eggplant. Try these recipes at home. They're easy, they're like 1, 2, 3, and they're absolutely delicious. You can reach me, LaToya Matthews Show at yahoo.com, and I'll send you these recipes if you're interested. Thank you so much for tuning in, and see you next time.